Our next Distinguished Alumni Leadership Award winner is Travis Schedler. Travis Schedler is an instructor in mathematics at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where he holds a 5-year fellowship from the American Institute of Mathematics. Travis was the sole recipient of the 2008 AIM Fellowship, an award that is, quote, intended for an absolutely first-rate new Ph.D., someone with potential to leave a lasting mark on mathematics, unquote. Subtitle, wow. The fellowship supports one outstanding new Ph.D. pursuing research in an area of pure mathematics and covers 60 months of full-time research as well as funds for travel and equipment. Travis has written and co-authored 19 research articles, including one that appeared in the Journal of American Mathematical Society and another in the Duke Mathematical Journal. He has given lectures at seminars, conferences at major universities in the U.S., Canada, and Europe. He has also mentored several undergraduates as well as an IMSA student, and has helped direct undergraduate reading and research programs at MIT and the University of Chicago. He is fluent in French, an accomplished keyboard musician, both piano and organ, and a triathlete. Travis is a graduate of Harvard University and the University of Chicago, and also spent a year, and I do not speak French, at École Normale Supérieure in Paris. My language was Latin. Travis, please come forward.
Good evening. I would like to thank the board, the alumni, and all of you for this award and support. It's truly an honor. Let me acknowledge a few people who enabled my achievements. My parents above all, and also my sister and brother. Dr. Marvin Zeman, who tutored me in mathematics free of charge from the 5th and 9th grades. Many IMSA teachers, especially Drs. Fogel, Kiley, and Workman. My longtime research mentor, Dr. Pavel Eddinghoff at MIT, whom I met in high school. And my Ph.D. advisor, Dr. Victor Ginsberg at the University of Chicago. These people are more responsible for my success than I am myself, I'm sure, and I constantly strive to live up to the potential they've tried to cultivate. I'm also grateful for a lot of travel and research money from private math institutes, academic departments, as well as the National Science Foundation. The most surprising thing to me about my life as an academic mathematician is all the travel. I have attended mathematical events in places from the Mediterranean cliffs in southern France all the way to Hawaii, where I studied Galois representations for 4 weeks, while on a little surfing and scuba, free of charge. Well, the surfing and scuba wasn't. I guess in pure math we don't have to pay for labs or equipment, so instead we travel to exotic places. But one should not infer that it is necessary to have tutors, excellent research mentors, or even travel money to succeed. A glance at some of the other IMSA scientists and trailblazers shows that not to be so. Indeed, IMSA has long been a breeding ground for entrepreneurs and innovative independent minds. Already at IMSA, interacting with my fellow students night and day was the most beneficial aspect of my IMSA experience. I recall that some of our group projects, like our sophomore English website on Hesse's novel Siddhartha, attracted visitors worldwide for years. Our dinner conversations were amazing and have continued online to this day. The IMSA computer culture was similarly fantastic. We shared accounts on each other's Linux servers and ran the school servers, in addition to competing together in programming contests. We even had our own online discussion fora called Notes Files. And believe it or not, these still exist, hosted by IMSA, and I, along with the majority of today's award recipients, still have an account there. I post every week, and feel free to ask how to get an account. Returning to today's subject of leadership, already at IMSA we had unique opportunities. For example, Keith Winstein and I ran IMSA's junior high math contest, which invited area junior high schoolers to IMSA for a day-long competition. I greatly appreciate that Mr. Vavernek, our supervisor, trusted us to deliver the contest on our own. It was a close call. Some of the contest questions were still being prepared in the all-nighter before the contest. We had a free hand to insert all our inside jokes into the contest questions, such as one that defined, quote, facilitative, unquote, and, quote, ethical, unquote, numbers, as well as numbers called, quote, leaders, and then it asked to compute the smallest, quote, ethical leader. Admittedly, our free hand in writing such questions owed in part to our insistence on using LaTeX instead of Microsoft Word, which prevented Mr. Vavrnik from directly editing our documents. This left him only to make handwritten comments such as, quote, surely you jest, unquote, when we introduced the notion of derivative in one contest problem for 7th and 8th graders. For another example, I was one of the last so-called student network system administrators. There were 4 of us, and we ran IMSA's entire computer system. Our butts were on the line 24/7. And as with the math contest, this came at a price. I once accidentally crashed the servers, leading to a long weekend in the machine room installing everything. But in return, we could fix student and staff email at 3 a.m. from our dorm room. More importantly, we all learned a ton, not just about computers, but ethics, never to breach people's trust and privacy. Sadly, this program ended not long after my graduation. I'm grateful to Matt Wicks for keeping it around when I was there. Nonetheless, I would urge IMSA not to forget the value of giving students such important leadership responsibilities. In a broader sense, IMSA itself sets the example for leadership inquiry as a, quote, learning laboratory through groundbreaking curricular experiments, some of which we heard about already today, like problem-based learning, integrated science, girls-only calculus-based physics, tablet PC-based classrooms, and even virtual instruction. The element of, quote, learning laboratory that I have not seen in these ambitious experiments so much is the documentation, or lab notebook, that all IMSA sophomore science classes required students to keep. Was there a controlled experiment to compare integrated versus separated science, tablet-based classrooms to non-tablet-based ones, or problem-based instruction to traditional methods? Does the data exist in a lab notebook, and will it be published online or in a journal? More specifically, although this is not my subject, I heard that IMSA had planned to publish the prize Mathematical Investigations course materials as a book. Teachers could buy it on Amazon.com. Well, I think we should do it. What are we waiting for? Similarly, I recall hundreds of students went through an experiment, integrated science, that combined chemistry, biology, and physics. Then one day, poof, it was gone. IMSA never published the results, positive or negative. I always wondered what they were. But as they say in academia, publish or perish. Then we can truly benefit high school education for years to come. Moreover, why not incorporate IMSA students into the research and publication of teaching methods, perhaps as an inquiry or service project? Then they can learn firsthand how to do grown-up research and maybe even become leading educators of the future, some of which we've already heard about today. But do not misinterpret my comments. I love IMSA as well as the education I received there. In addition to the aforementioned excellent student environment and lab chemistry courses, where I would also like to acknowledge Ms. Van Verst, who is a great teacher in person, I even benefited from a first-rate choral program under Mrs. Bach with generous extracurricular attention and a great piano teacher, Ms. Wood, who came to school to give lessons. IMSA's lessons in leadership and scientific rigor have been invaluable to me throughout my mathematical career, as well as my development as a human being. I will always be grateful for that, and it is partly thanks to this that I stand here today receiving a leadership honor from you. Thank you very much, and continue to blaze new trails in science, education, and humanity.